Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Iklimanisha. Let's see this summary. In the world of tourism, Japanese tourists are a classic type of stereotypical tourists, and they are the dream of every foreign businessman to be visited by them, because citizens from this country most often visit foreign countries, especially the USA. The steady growth in outbound tourism from Japan over the past 20 years has resulted in many businesses wanting to attract more outbound Japanese tourists. In the meantime, there are several factors that cause the growth of tourists, among them demand to go abroad, business travel, and so on. Apart from that, the reason for travel and destination in and out of Japanese tourists were also noted to be supported by many businesses. Not only that, the special characteristics of Japanese tourists are also taken into account in order to be able to attract more traders and support these Japanese tourists. In 1985, when the yen's value versus other currencies soared, the number of Japanese abroad travelers has been steadily increasing. The Japanese government unveiled its 10 million program in 1987 with the goal of doubling Japanese foreign travel from 5.5 million in 1986 to 10 million by the end of 1991. Hiroko Nozawa, a consultant, examines the growth, the futures of outward travel from Japan, as well as the structure of the country tourist business and the possibilities for future overseas travel. There are various issues, criticism, and some reasons that will be shown later.
At the data, a look at the decade leading up to years 2000 show that per capacity visit abroad have increased for all regions of Japan, although the trend is for more visit per capita by those living in major urban economic sphere than by those living in the Japan rural economic sphere. Information, according to preliminary data from Japan's Immigration Service Agency, there were about 66,051 Japanese travel abroad in August. The amount was the highest since April 2020, up 77.9% from 37,137 in August 2020. And negative 96.9% from 2.11 million in 2019. Looking at the number of Japanese travel overseas by countries and region in August 2020, the US registered the highest number of 16,932 among all the destinations. Then this number was the highest since April 2019 and continued exceeding 10,000 for the second month. Okay, for this slide, we discuss the reasons for the growth in the outbound Japanese tourist market in the past 20 years. There have 6 reasons for the growth in outbound tourism from Japan. First, increased air capacity. Second, increased business travel. Third, increased interested in Asia as a tourism destination. Fourth, increased demand to go abroad. Fifth, in steady population growth since 1980, with both in the 25 until 29 and 50 until 55 age groups. And last but not least is Japanese propensity for hard work has full income growth. Okay, first, increase air capacity. This is because the number of two-way tickets available on international flights climbed by 46% from 76.94 million in 2008. The only year-over-year decrease in international capacity occurred in 2009, when seat counts fell by 6.6% compared to 2008 levels. Since then, the number of international seats has increased for 8 years in a row. In 2016, capacity increased by 10% over the previous year. So, international capacity from Japan increased by 47% from 2009 to 2017. Okay, next is increased interest in Asia as a tourism destination. As Asia is the most popular overseas destination Japanese, and this trend is expected to continue. Per capita trips to Korea from rural area continue to rise sharply. From both the urban and rural economics domains, exchange with nations throughout Asia is rising. There appear to be significant variance in per capita travel to North America and Europe from the Kanto area versus those from rural economic zone, probably due to difference in the ease of access this destination from different sections of Japan. Increased demand to go abroad. So in 2020, the number of Japanese traveling overseas amounted to 3.70 million, decreasing by almost 70 million compared to the previous year. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Japan inbound and outbound travel shrank to a minimum. Japanese people travel to Europe for tourism. In particular, 53% of Japanese travelers to Europe stay between 8 and 14 days, and most travel costs are spent on tour participation. Popular activities within Europe are visiting history, culture, and natural attraction. For the steady population growth since 1980, with births in the 25 until 29 and 50 until 54 age groups each year, the first pattern is that people are bypassing traditional travel agents and making foreign travel arrangements on their own. Okay, and last but not least, for Japanese propensity for hard work as full income growth. They do it by themselves. Travel use sites like Expedia or Booking.com to book accommodations abroad, relying on customer review to select a place to stay. Some people will also book through Airbnb or other peer-to-peer accommodation sites. They also often compare fares on a meta search engine like Skyscanner, an efficient way of searching for the most economical fare. And a number of factors make it possible for people to travel cheaply without going on a non-frills tour. One is emergence of low-cost carrier, and what we call LCC, began flying out of Japan to overseas destinations in the mid-2000s, and traveling to Asia or Oceania. Board on LCC has become commonplace, since a few package tours include LCC and transportation. Travelers who, for those cheaper flights, must make their own arrangement for the other companies of their trip. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so we will go to the next slide is motivation of the different market segment of Japanese tourists. Okay, so it is categorized it is classified as categorized is first is working soldier. Okay, so working soldier from the age 30 to 50 old male group, and they are worker and hard to find time because work commitment. So their motivation is meaning that business travel, and that is only time that they have to go to the holiday, and to the silver grace. Okay, so from 50 years old to 60 years old, and they've been influenced by growing up in the post-war. So their motivation is they are like Japanese food. Okay, so they just want their food. Either they go to the other country, so to outbound. So they also need to who speak their language. Okay, so we will go to the full mooners. Full mooners is a mature married couple, and they more to prefer a private holiday. I mean the single holiday, but they want the package, and also they concern with the quality. So many country of course focus on quality to attract Japanese tourists. So another point is technical visit or study tours. So Japanese companies use work-related study tours as a way to recruit and reward the staff. Okay, so this is also the categories the motivation that business travel. So they want to reward their staff with the successful stuff maybe. Okay, so they also combine with leisure pursuits such as golf, and they want to just enjoy their visit study. Okay, so we will go to the next slide. Is point number 5, student travel. Short duration trips and book flight and accommodation only with package, because they need to know the budget. So the motivation is they do the tour is maybe for know the culture, and assignment work to know the culture of the country, traditional food maybe. So it is the motivation they want to tour outbound. So we will go to the young affluent or shinichi, which is the age of 20 until 30 age, and they grow up in a period of affluence in Japan. So they love to show off money and open-minded. They also rarely use tour package. They major participant in the short break, and they also major in activity holiday market. So with this category is shown that they want to enjoy their holiday, their holiday when they tired to work, and they want to enjoy with their friends. Okay, the next point is the office ladies. The office ladies is early 20 unmarried women. So they have high disposable income, and when have a high disposable income, of course they have the motivation to shopping. Maybe not in their country only, maybe when go to outbound another country like USA, Paris, and this type of office ladies is like Western country, like very like Western country and big city. to shopping, maybe to have a spa tourist, or maybe medical tourist for fix their face, right? So they more to organized tour, also to independent travel. Maybe they always go to that country and they can go by themselves and no need to the guide tour. Okay, so the last one is the honeymooners. 65% Japanese couple choose romantic place such as Paris, Europe, and also Asian place. So their motivation is more to find romantic place and want to enjoy with their couple. Okay, here's the table show that a top motivation travel on 2011. Okay, so this is the table that showed top motivation travel in 2011. So the first one is nature and scenery, historical sites, local cuisine, shopping, relaxation, and experiencing in different culture. So like I said earlier, student travel is more to experience with the culture. Okay, so for me, if I am a traveler or tourist, I am more to enjoying their local foods or the sightseeing of the view, and I very love that.
Let's move to the discussion point number 3. Critically analyze the consumer behavior of one of the market segments of outbound Japanese tourists. Explore what this will mean for destination marketers. First of all, let me tell you what is consumer behavior. According to Solomon, 1996, consumer behavior involves certain decision activities, either or experiences that satisfy consumer needs and wants. Next, a review of the tourism literature has revealed that many studies have been focused on the cultural characteristic of the Japanese tourist behavior. Ahmed and Kron, 1992, examined the unique cultural characteristic of the behavior of Japanese tourists visiting the other country. They cited 10 major elements in Japanese culture which influence their consumer behavior. 1. Belongingness, like traveling in groups and seeking comfort in togetherness. 2 is family influence, like purchasing gifts for close friends and family members and reciprocating. 3. Empathy, like projecting the feelings of the others and not expressing true personal feelings, including displeasure. 4. Dependency, being loyal and devoted in exchange for security and protection. 5 is hierarchical acknowledgement, like behaving in accordance to social status. 6. Propensity to save, accumulating funds for an emergency and saving for a home to overcome feeling of insecurity. The 7 is the concept of kinnin, is collecting evidence of tourist travel to prestigious tourist destination. 8. Tourist photography. This is important of photography. 9. Passivity, avoidance of participating in physical activities. And the last one is risk avoidance. This is avoidance of adventurous leisure pursuits. There are impact of Japanese tourists to destination marketers. First, Japanese tourists will help destination marketers to generate their income by trade their money to the country and pay tax and buying stuff. Next, The tourists from Japan will open the opportunities for destination marketers, which allow for increased trade amount and the increased number of visitors from Japan and develop a variety of local businesses. Then a higher quality of life for destination marketers and also local people. And the last one is the negative impact. The negative impact is culture and traditions may change as tourists from Japan arrive because local people will be deceived.
Okay, so the next slide is different activities commonly performed by Japanese tourists. So, holiday. Japanese tourists will go on vacation to relieve stress, and mandatory activities and interests that are available to the majority of Japanese society are such as shopping, finding food, and even buying some souvenir for the family. Also, the second one is business. Business when traveling to complete the affairs of the Japanese tourist office will take this opportunity to get to know the working culture of his partner, and also he will enjoy a meal or party proposed by his partner prepared. Okay, in addition, many other travel activities of the Japanese community such as diplomat officials, overseas assignment, study research, technical training, volunteer, immigration, and company sports. So, as we know, the Japanese community will not travel without a clear purpose with its will. So, they more focus on the nine different core activities for their holiday. Okay, so the next slide is destination marketers trying to attract Japanese tourists, which is the country of Australia. Their speak ability in Japanese and English making that Japanese tourists want to go to their country, which is easy to communicate. And also the measuring Japanese tourist perception of Australian services, and this is make the perception is easy to communicate. And also they offering Japanese food, service, guides, and many more. And also famous place like Queensland Beach at Australia. And USA is the major tourist destination for Japanese tourists because they have a lot of things to attract the Japanese tourists, which is sex tourism and also food service for Japanese and many more. Also, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and many more Asia also provide sex tourism markets in many Asian destinations. Also, this is for male Japanese. Okay, so they upgrading shopping malls, duty-free shops, and market, which is categorized by traditional goods. Okay, that's all from me, Diana. Thank you.